Are you numb to this world? Many of us have routines. Each and every day, we get up, we get ready for work, spend time at work, then we come back home, we have dinner with the family, and then we're on our phones, we're scrolling through all kinds of social media, trying to catch up with the latest of everything. The question I have to you today, are you oblivious to this world? Do you not sense the movement, anything happening, shifting? Are you too comfortable to care? And what it would take for you to wake up? Let's look at Ephesians chapter 4, verse 18 and 19. They don't understand because they are in the dark. So far away from life that God gives. This is because they made themselves not wanting to listen and they cannot understand. So they have lost all the feeling and they give themselves over to the evil things they do or they want to do. They do all kinds of sinful things and they always want to do more. Isn't that something? So how long do you gonna pretend that things are just fine in your world and you don't care about what's happening? As a Christ follower, this has to mean an urgency of you making sure that your relationship with God is right on track. Okay? So I'm here to remind you of what we're headed if we don't take the warning seriously. Now, let's look at Psalms 115, verse 5. They have eyes but cannot see. They have ears but they cannot hear. So the question again is, are you numb and oblivious to this world? Do you not see what's happening? Now, I'm not here to do a fire and brimstone video here. What I am doing is bringing awareness and how we desperately need Jesus. We desperately have to have that intimacy, fellowship, relationship with Him day in, day out. Spending time with God in His Word, spending time in prayer, spending time to pray for the things that we are asking God to fulfill in our lives. Now, this generation hears the truth daily, okay? But it continues to ignore it, and it's not ignorance, it's rebellion dressed as apathy. So here's the thing. We're addicted to distractions. Like I said before in the beginning of the video, right away we jump on our phones, social media, and we're looking for entertainment. And we're looking for, these things that are fulfilling and wasting our time. What's stealing your focus every day? Now, I know that you have dreams and you have ambitions, but something's distracting you from getting to the point that you need in life. Could it be these things that I'm mentioning to you? Luke chapter 21, verse 34. Be careful, don't spend your time feasting, drinking, or worrying about the worldly things. There are things that are out there that I don't even know what's happening. I'm not being oblivious to what's happening. I'm saying being informed. Get your 15 minutes of news, and that's it. Get out of there. There's no need to. I haven't spent time on news for a very long time. I know that this things are happening. I know there's corruption. I know that because why? All I need is 15 minutes of the news. I know that I stopped this video for a second just to kind of let you know and remind you if you haven't yet subscribed, this is a perfect opportunity to do that. Go ahead and lock it in, share, like, comment below. Also, if you want to support this channel, there is a link down below. Just follow the subscription, check out the merchandise, Now let's jump back into the
the video.
news. Now, the devil doesn't need he does this to distract you because he wants you take away from your relationship with God because that's what the enemy does. Satan does that to you. Okay? And entertainment over eternity is what you're doing. You're spending too much time on these things. Does your soul matter less than your screen time? Right? Now, Philippians chapter 3, verse 19. The minds are set on earthly things. Their minds. And if your minds are like that, your mind is like that, then you haven't really spent the time you need to spend with God in prayer and the things that you wonder why things are happening in your life. Because of the distraction, because you're oblivious to this world. You're so numb to this world that you're just going through the mundane of life. We have become emotionally invested in fiction and detached from reality. What's the reality? Heaven feels boring. You're not headed there. I know it does. To you, because for me, it's eternal life. It's something that's going to be uh, my investment here on earth to share the gospel, to share my heart with each and every one. Now, conviction feels like criticism. Okay? Uh, the question I have for you: when did truth become offensive? When did it do? This is something that you have to ask yourself. Let's look at Galatians chapter 4, verse 16. Am I now enemy because I tell you the truth? I tell you the truth and you get mad at me, you get crazy. The truth doesn't hurt you. It actually heals you. You start thinking about the things that you need to do to fix that issue with yourself. But if it offends you, it means that you need it more than ever. The truth is going to smack you in the face, and it's going to put you in a position that you start thinking, man, maybe I should start working on the things that I need to work on. Look, it happens to me, so I'm not perfect. I'm going through this journey with you so you can understand what my life is all about. Okay? Comfort, has become your God in all of this. Yeah, I get caught up in that sometimes. Then I recognize it like, hey, I need to get a hold of myself. I need to start waking up. Are you following Christ or convenience? What's convenient? Going to the church. I check the box. I'm done. Now I'm ready for the week. I'm going to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. When Sunday comes around, I'm going back into a fresh mind, a fresh spirit, and then throughout the week, I just lost it. It's a never ending thing. You can't just fill up your gas tank and then wait on empty until you get to Sunday and you go to church. No, it doesn't work like that. You got to spend time with God day in, day out, spending time in the Word, getting sharpened, get a book, start reading, Comfort is a cruel God. So you're comfortable, you're going through all this stuff and never ask for a sacrifice of your soul. That's what comfort does. And then all of this ties into, are you numb to sin? Are you numb to it? Do you see what's happening? Do you not look at, does that not, put an alert system as like, man, this is not of God. This is something that, is there a full conviction of what's happening? When is the last time you felt convicted? Yeah, that's that just a thought in my mind right now. Just sharing that with you. Let's look at Ephesians chapter 4, verse 19. Because of their stubborn hearts, they have lost all the feeling of shame. They don't care anymore. I saw somebody in my job who I'm not going to say anything super bad, but this person has been walking with God for a very long time, and they have no shame at all of what they say and do. It's crazy. And it's not a friend that I've been discipling at work because he's a great man of God. He's actually a person that I feel compelled to continue to minister to him. But I'm talking about another coworker that I work with, and that person is and has a family line of history of you know leadership and pastoral roles. Anyhow, sin no longer shocks you at that point because there's no freedom that that gives you that sense of urgency of spending time with God anymore. You lost it. You totally lost it. Do you think being nice is just enough? Yeah, you can be nice all you want to. Is your morality a mask of spiritual laziness? That's a question I have to ask myself. Am I spiritually lazy? Can you pick up the broom? Can you sweep? Can you, you know, I, it's just an analogy. Can you read the word? Can you pray? Can you do those things? Why do you have to rely on emergency prayers? And I talked about that many a times. Not everyone who here's what happens. It's in Matthew chapter 7 verse 21. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. Good vibes don't get you to heaven. That's a good vibe. That's a good vibe. Obedience does. Believe it or not, you need to obey God. If you have a intimacy relationship with God, you must obey in order for you to hear what God has in your life. You rarely pray, don't you? But you always continue to post. You're posting everything about everything and everything, right? Do you know God's voice is more than your followers? Even as we speak today. First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 17. Pray without stopping, without ceasing. Some Bibles say that. Pray without ceasing. Pray, 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 pray. It's good to pray. You're more connected, through prayer than Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi always lets you down, right? I can't find the Wi-Fi. Oh man, well, no. God is the ultimate Wi-Fi. He's the creator. Don't be confused with spiritual starvation with peace. Okay? So that's a good note. That's a good note to really understand your relationship with God. You defend what condemns. God condemns, right? So there are a lot of things that are happening in this world that we're so oblivious of this world, and we're so numb. We're so numb that you defend, what God condemns. If God condemns it, why are you defending it? That's the question. Why? What's getting you to so riled up that this happens to you, right? Have you rebranded sin as self-love? Yeah, that's a good question, right? Luke chapter 16 verse 15. What do you think it's worth? It's much disgusting to God. Huh. Right? Just because the culture collapsed doesn't mean that God will. Okay? Culture always going to collapse. It's always been like that in history. How about if you're terrified of being judged? I don't want nobody to judge me. Then why are you a Christ follower? To share, to be the disciple, to be a witness of that. Oh, I don't know how to witness to people. Your testimony is a witness, right? You don't have to be an expert of the Bible, but you can be an expert in your testimony. Okay? So why are you afraid of people rather than God? You know, when you're sharing your testimony. Matthew chapter 10, verse 28. Fear only God, who can destroy both soul, body in hell. Wow. You seek approval all the time with people who can't save you and reject you when times are happening in your life. Yeah, it's a truth. You got to see it for what I'm sharing with you today, because that's something that needs to resonate. Oh yeah, that's right. You say that God knows your heart. Well, He does. But what does He actually see? He sees you. God sees everything you do and say, and it makes a world of difference when you know He actually knows. God already knows your thoughts. He already knows my thoughts when I'm even talking to you. Okay? Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is most deceitful of all things. It's too sick to be healed. Yes. God knows your heart, and He knows your problems. He knows what you're going through. Again, are you numb to this world? If you don't talk to God about it, it's not going to happen. Things are not going to happen. Things are not. Spending time with the prayer is more dedication to that, and you can see results by having a prayer life, by reading His Word, by really have a really understanding of what God can do in your life. You call evil progress, and your open-mindedness is shutting out the truth. And I could prove it to you. In Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. What sorrow for those who say that the evil is good and good is evil. That's crazy even thinking about that. Redefining morality doesn't define God. A lot of people end up doing it, right? And His Word doesn't evolve. It exposes the truth. You blame God for consequences of sin, don't you? Ah, man, God's doing this to me again. Are you mad at God for letting you eat the fruit you picked? You picked that fruit. You did. Proverbs chapter 19, verse 3. People ruin their lives by their own foolishness, and they are angry at the Lord. Ah, man. Can you imagine that? You're doing that to God? This is just a reminder. Just understanding where this means to you. Don't confuse mercy with a blank check. You can sow sin and expect peace. You can't. You can't sow sin and expect peace. That's what I'm saying. How about this? You treat church like Netflix. Okay, here we go. This is another episode of the series of building wisdom, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So why do you treat church like a Netflix? Why? Is Sunday worship a subscription to you? That you go in, you pay your tithes, and that's it, you're done. You check the box, you're done. Over. I'm done. I'm good for the week. I'm good. God is, and then I'm going to check in next Sunday, and see what happens here. So, in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25 tells, don't stop meeting, but, don't stop meeting with believers. That's what it's saying. Be with the body of believers. Because something happens in that room. Something gets on you in that room. If you were to go into a restaurant and they are cooking the best steak in the best steakhouse you gone to, by the time you get it out of the restaurant, you smell like the steak. It's on you. Get in the presence of God. Let it get on you. get around the body of believers so it can come on you. It's crazy, but I know when you go to a coffee shop, when you get into a coffee shop, all this aroma, by the time you come in, you smell like coffee beans, you smell, because the presence there is on you. So you want the presence of God on you. Church isn't content, okay? Let's make that clear. It's a connection with God, and you're not, and you're not part of the audience. You're the body of Christ, okay? So stop being numb to the world. Stop going through the motions. Stop going through everything that you're dealing with today, because I'm telling you, all these things, you're just going through the motions. You're numb to this world, and you're not, seeing the things that are happening around you and your walk with God, because it's very important to see and get a hold of yourself. I have to ask these questions myself, okay? I'm flesh just like you. I'm not super spiritual. I'm living the life that you're living right now, the same lifestyle, but I choose to be with God because I know that's where my comfort is, in Jesus. My comfort is in Jesus. I'm telling you, it's a great, I don't want to ever, lose that at all, and lose sight of what God has for me. So how about this? You want the blessing without the burden? Do you want Jesus, or do you want his benefits? Well, I want both, right? Oh, that's obviously right, Isaac. Okay. Well, Luke chapter 9, verse 23. If you want to be my follower, you must give up your own way. So give up the lifestyle you're living, and really put limitations on what's happening in this world. Well, in the things that you don't want to take participation on that. Don't spend too much time, like I said, on your phone, on TV, but make sure you're pointing your life always to God. You don't carry a cross part-time, right? So it's self daily. You have to die to your sin each and every day and say, I'm going to give this to God. I'm going to make sure God's taking care of, what I need to accomplish in life, Now the question is, what if tomorrow never comes? You always hear that, right? You still think that you have time on this earth? Like, really? Well, let's look at 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 2. Today is the day of salvation. Today is a day of salvation. So you're not right with God. This is a perfect opportunity to give your heart to God. Say, God, I need to be set free from this world. I need to make sure I have borders when it comes to my relationship with you and only you. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive those who trespass against us, because it happens. Delay is the deadliest deception. So don't delay. Get focused on what God has planned for you. The devil has a favorite word. I'll do it later. No. Look, the time is right. The time is to do it now. And if you are uncomfortable, good. I'm glad you're uncomfortable. But that means that there's actually a hope for you. But if you can't stay blind, you can't really stay blind forever. It isn't just being religious. It's about being real to God, having a relationship with God. It's time to wake up before your eyes close for good. We'll see you next time.